I am starting a segment for individuals who have suffered with domestic violence, suffered from codependency, growing up in dysfunctional families, and just kind of growing up and choosing those relationships that allows you to be dictated, manipulated, and controlled by someone else. So I'm doing this and starting this segment to continue to raise awareness, to help those who are in need, because it's not always easy to step outside of the box and talk to someone when you have a problem such as domestic violence, which in this society is very, very detrimental because a lot of people have lost their lives in domestic violence relationships. So I want to go ahead and start off with the basis of what I'm going to be talking about, and it is conquering codependency, because when you are stuck in a abusive relationship, you do become dependent upon that other person. They start to isolate you, they start to manipulate you and make you think that they are all you have. If you do walk out on them, then you have nothing, and that is a very, very scary feeling to feel, whether you're a male or female. So I want to go over the functional family. That's going to be the first thing that can kind of put some recognition into a person's habits as far as their decision making, how they were raised, the environment that they stem from. So the key concepts that we're going to have here are healthy families. They teach people to feel, trust, and to talk. In our world, we often speak of systems such as school systems, highways, engine systems, and we think of the system as a group that interacts to form a special unit, okay? But have you ever thought about those systems or units as families? That's one thing that you need to think about them about, because families, they are systems, systems in which each person's behavior affects everybody else, all the members of the family. Two types of family systems: the functional family and the dysfunctional family. Those are the ones that exist, okay? The functional family, it helps its members to grow. It helps them develop. And this type of family certainly is not perfect, because nobody is perfect, but it does foster open and honest communication. Both the parents and the children, they develop a strong sense of oneself or one's identity, and they learn that they can trust, feel, and talk to their other siblings, to their parents. And so that just kind of illustrates that you have a parent, and child, and child. So in that family system and dynamic is centered on love, and that's telling you it's okay to feel, it's okay to trust, it's okay to stop to talk, and you are special and you are loved even if you do make a mistake. And that's what a lot of people tend to forget, even in our older age. You are special no matter what mistakes that you make. if your parents are gone and, you know, all you have is you and your spouse, it's comforting to get recognition from those around you that you do make a difference, that you do matter. So coming from me, you do matter, and no matter the mistakes that you made, you still are loved, and you have the right to feel, you have the right to talk about anything that's going on with you yourself. Okay? So, the bottom line of families, they kind of teach us how to live. The most important thing we can learn from families is how to operate in relationships and how to give and receive love from one another, and receiving love from your parents, receiving love from your siblings, and also giving that love back. And that makes a big impact on our relationship status and how our relationships go when we're older. So there's 3 skills that are required for healthy living, loving relationships, and these are the abilities to feel, trust, and talk. If you can't feel, trust, and talk, then you don't have those 3 abilities for a loving relationship. In order to love someone and appreciate them, you need to allow them to accept what they're feeling. You need to allow them to express what they're feeling. Because if not, you're shutting them out. You're not allowing them to have their own personal Bill of Rights. And the personal Bill of Rights I'll go over in a later segment, but starting with to feel, trust, and talk, that has a lot to do with the personal Bill of Rights, because each of us as an individual has the right to our feelings. We have the right to terminate conversation with anyone that we don't want to talk to. We have the right to participate and not participate in things that we want to, that may be good for us or may not be good for us, okay? So a functional family doesn't only give the individual permission to feel, talk, and trust. It also helps the individual develop needs for their future living. Developing skills for living represents a major life task of the family, and these skills can be abilities. In studying about families, we use the word skill to refer to the abilities that a person can develop to have a successful future. So saying things like I love you, giving a hug, or asking forgiveness also fall along with the family skills. Okay, so parents help their children to learn trust to others by showing them that parents are trustworthy. Now, me as a parent, I know that there has been times where I have possibly told little white lies to my kids being at a certain age. And looking back now, I did it because I was in fear of not wanting them to get their feelings hurt or, be placed in a certain situation that I didn't feel was appropriate for them, for their emotional level, for their developmental levels, and even their age range. So, I'm guilty of it, and I'm going to be honest, because that's the whole point of starting this recovery program, is that you can't lie. to yourself. You can't lie about the circumstances. You can't lie about any choices, direct or indirect, that you've made to get you to this point. So being open and honest with yourself and accepting the things that you have directly or indirectly done is going to go a long way when you start this recovery process of conquering codependency and conquering domestic violence. So you teach your children to recognize and to deal with feelings. That is a big skill in functional families, because everybody has a right to their feelings, and how you channel that feeling and how you act and react with it is going to make a big difference. Now, respecting one's emotions and showing how to deal with feelings. This goes for every relationship, parental relationships, sibling relationships, co-working relationships, friendships, lovers. All kinds of relationships play an aspect with these two. Respecting somebody's emotions and showing how to deal with your feelings is the first step into making you have self-control. And self-control is going to be a big thing that an individual will need in any type of relationship and in life, no matter what. You are always going to have self-control. If you cannot get a handle on your self-control, you're going to spiral out of control. Okay? And that's not what we want, because then you will choose relationships to where you will choose a person who is controlling and to have control over you. And you as an individual matter, and nobody else should have control over you except for yourself. Okay? So that's called modeling. Modeling is basically showing and teaching yourself how to respect your emotions and deal with them. Okay? And that's being available and valuing ideas, opinions, and showing that it's okay to talk. Now, by modeling consistency and dependability, you can teach others and yourself to form trust. Okay? By respecting people with the right to their own emotions, hurts, and joys, you're teaching yourself and others to feel. By taking time to listen and valuing what another person says, you're teaching yourself and others to talk. Okay? So with that, I am going to go over a key concept for this first segment, okay? And I just want to go ahead and have you maybe write down some things, and these first 5 things are going to be: loving me, I'm special in your sight. Loving me no matter how great my mistakes are. Desiring for me to trust you. Desiring to share my feelings. And taking time to talk and to listen. Okay? The overall key concept of this first segment is healthy families teach people to feel, trust, and talk. And those are good key concepts to start out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to family. You can be in a relationship with no kids, and you need to practice those key concepts between you and your significant other, because if you are allowing each other to feel and trust and talk, you're opening up the door to continue on a healthy road for your relationship. Now, when you start building walls and not allowing yourself or others to trust, feel, or talk, you start implicating unhealthy patterns in your relationship, in your lifestyle, and those can lead to very negative boundaries or even no boundaries at all. So the next segment, we will pick up on the dysfunctional family, and I really am going for this to impact people, because me being a victim of domestic violence myself, it took me over 3 years to eventually get out of the relationship, and there was a lot of struggles that happened along the way that through the justice system weren't really just, and we'll get into that at some point down the line. I will kind of give you a background rundown on my situation and where I'm at now and the road that I am striving for to better myself, to develop healthy boundaries and healthy relationships. So the next segment, I hope you guys will tune in, subscribe, and like. I really want this to benefit a lot of you guys, and I surely hope it does. So this segment was over the functional family, and the next one will be over the dysfunctional family. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good day.